designed this robot?
Okay, so this robot it's pretty interesting in the functions that we chose for it to do. So first of all, at kickoff, we pretty clearly set a scope of priorities of what we wanted to do. It was almost immediately clear that we didn't want to climb. So the first thing we did was we removed any space we had planned for our climb. So initially we had made some sketches of our drive base, of what it could look like with various mounting for mechanisms. We knew immediately we would need an elevator. An arm for this game would be way too complicated, so we immediately realized we would use an elevator, and almost immediately we decided on a two-stage elevator with a raised carriage. So our end effector is raised a little bit off the carriage so that we can reach L3 more efficiently without raising our center of gravity too much. Our game piece is fed by a pretty normal funnel. So if I can have a coral, so we'll be like, I guess we could demonstrate like the journey of the game piece. So our coral can be, our funnel can be fed from any angle to make it easier for the human player. Like this, it can be fed with a lot of force or less force. It can be, it's low enough that it can be fed with a coral in between, a coral or two corals in between our robot and the feeder station. So it's a very reliable funnel that we've made. The end effector, it's powered by a Kraken X60 for these roller wheels and a Falcon 500 on a Versa Planetary for this algae arm. This algae arm, what it does, it basically just goes up and it spins this wheel to remove the algae from the reef. And we don't score algae, we just remove it. So we're a pretty valuable partner for alliances who do score algae off the ground. This is also powered by the same Kraken that powers these rollers. So it can help us cycle a lot faster as well. This elevator is a ThriftyBot two-stage cascade elevator, which has been pretty heavily modified by us. We've made a custom gearbox, which is a 4.8:1 ratio powered by two Kraken X60s. And our drive base is a pretty standard Mark IV-I swerve powered by 8 Neos.
Yeah, so from a controls perspective, the main thing we focused on this year is the driver experience. So there's a few ways we did that. First of all, we added these LEDs. They basically turn different colors depending on different statuses of the robot. So for example, it would flash yellow if we intake a coral, it would flash green if we're aligned and ready to score a coral, and so on. Another thing we added is these two cameras right here. We have one here and one there. So these are audio cams and they're powered by an Orange Tri coprocessor on that side of the bot inside there. And what we're able to do with that is these cameras are able to look at these April tags all around the field, and it's able to grab the robot's position. With the position, there's a lot of things you can do. Most importantly is auto alignment to the reef itself. So this way the driver doesn't have to do it manually. It makes our cycles a lot faster and a lot more accurate. One of the other things that we did is not on the robot itself, but more on the back end. So we were able to set up a 3D simulation for the robot. And the benefits of that is, one, now that we have a USB stick that logs everything that goes on with the robot, we're able to look at it after the match and see what went wrong. So this way the drivers don't have to, aside from focusing on driving, they also have to like try to debug issues, look at the battery voltage, look at what's going on during the match. So they don't have to do that anymore because we can just look at that after. And they can get some practice on the bot outside of having the physical robot at competition through simulation. And I guess the last thing that we did this year is more presets. So there's a lot of buttons on the controller. We actually bought a new controller that has more buttons. And with that, we were able to bind more presets for the arm here, the end effector, the elevator. And that way, the driver doesn't have to manually control everything. They can press a button and it scores. And it just makes driving a whole lot easier.